Welcome back into another video I have for you guys here today on Madden 20. Today it's going to be another one of these college sim videos. This episode is of course going to be LSU's. That's why we're the Vikings. They were like the closest uniforms, at least I could think of on the spot. But this is going to be an interesting one. We're going to be able to draft Joe Burrow. Anticipated to go #1 in real life. I'm not sure when he's going to go in this franchise here, but if this is the first video you're watching of mine, and if you enjoy rebuilds and other franchise content, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you end up enjoying this video in particular, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like button down below. It helps me out so much in the end. And while you're down there, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or check out my second channel to see what other kind of games I'm interested in, you can check those out. All links are in the description. Let's start going over this team, though. It's an 81 overall, 79 offense, 85 defense. I also want to mention this as well. My bad for not having a rebuild out in a little while. The reasoning for that is I can't download any files right now, like many other people. I don't know what's going on right now with the servers or whatever the issue is, but every time I try to download a file, I'm sure you all know this, it just says that it's been removed or I get some other weird error message. So I didn't want to try to do any rebuilds right now because I don't want to do a rebuild with the regular roster. I know I kind of did that with my Tom Brady Patriots one, but I just really wanted to get a realistic rebuild out at that time and the same issue was happening. Hopefully it's fixed soon. If not, I'll try my best to figure something else out. I don't know what to do just yet, but if you have any recommendations on how to actually download rosters, please let me know because it would be greatly appreciated. But let's go over the team. The best quarterback here is Danny Etling. He's a 48 overall, at least according to this website. I'm pretty sure he's the only quarterback here. He is a 48. So he doesn't really do anything well. I mean, he can move. 81 speed isn't too bad. 85 throw power is not going to get it done, but we're not going to be using him long term, so I'm not really that worried about it. We have a pretty good group of running backs, though. Leonard Fournette, superstar development, 83 overall, still very young. Darius Geis is a good running back as well. Struggles to stay healthy in real life, but he is a good running back when he is out on the field. 80 overall, 22 years old. Odell Beckham Jr. is the #1 receiver. We have the Browns duo there. Jarvis Landry is also on the team. DJ Chark is the #3. He's a stud, too, for the Jaguars. Brandon LaFell is the #4 then on this team. I think Russell Gage is also out of LSU, so he will be the #5. The offensive line has some good pieces on it and some really poor pieces. So Andrew Whitworth is very good. He won't be here for a long time, though, which is kind of sad. We have Trey Turner, who is good. La'el Collins is very good, but then we have Ethan Posick and Will Clapp, who are a 61 and a 59 overall, respectively, so that's not too fun. We have Foster Moreau, though, starting at tight end. I do have a backup tight end who went to LSU. Let me actually get him to be the #2. It's Colin Jeter. I found him in free agency. He went to LSU. I didn't search through free agency all that much. Like, maybe there's another quarterback in free agency. I don't think it's that big of a deal, though. We're just going to have Danny Etling for 1 season. I don't really expect to do much with this team the first year. The defense is actually really solid on this team, though. Let's start out with the linebackers. A very exciting group, very fast players. Devin White, Quan Alexander, Deion Jones, Kendall Beckwith is also here. Barkevius Mingo, Duke Riley, all out of LSU. Kevin Minter as well. The safety duo is phenomenal. Tyrann Mathieu playing free safety. Jamal Adams at strong safety. The corners, we have Pat Pete, Dante Jackson, Jalen Mills, Greedy Williams. I want Greedy Williams playing more for sure. Morris Claiborne is down there too. And then on the D-line, Daniil Hunter is an X-Factor. We have Al Woods, Michael Brockers, Devon Godshaw, Arden Key, Benny Logan as well. Benny Logan could start at right end, but I want Arden Key to play a little bit more. He fits more in a 4-3. He's also very young, so maybe he can do something there. But that is going to be the team. Let's simulate now and see how they do the first season. I don't think this team makes the playoffs with a 48 overall quarterback, but we'll see what happens. So very obviously, this team did not make the playoffs. They don't really have a good roster. It makes sense. We finished 4-12. The Bears will win the division, going 11-5. All right. Danny Etling, how many yards did you have? 3,510, 18 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Not a good year, but what do you expect from a 48 overall quarterback? Leonard Fournette did pretty well, I guess. 3.9 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns. Doesn't have the best offensive line to run behind, so that's not too bad there. Odell Beckham Jr., 870 yards. Jarvis Landry, 724 yards. Both of those guys, 5 touchdowns. Surprisingly enough, La'el Collins looks like the worst offensive lineman on the team. Will Clapp only let up 1 sack. That's impressive. 119 tackles there for Devin White, 100 for Deion Jones as well. 12 tackles for loss for Michael Brockers, 11 for Daniil Hunter. 5 sacks for Brockers leads the team, 4 for Arden Key at #2 there, 3 picks for Jamal Adams, 2 for Patrick Peterson, 1 for a lot of guys, including Daniil Hunter. Okay. No touchdown safeties or blocked kicks there, but we were 28th in the NFL on offense. I'm surprised that's not worse than that. And then 30th on defense. How is the defense worse than the offense? All right, well, Lamar Jackson wins MVP. Anybody from the Vikings? I very much doubt it. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Matt Ryan. Nobody from the Vikings. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Leighton Vander Esch. Nobody from the Vikings. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Daniel Jones. Nobody from the Vikings. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Devin White, though. That's actually huge. He should be probably like an 82 or an 83 overall by next season, which is perfectly fine. The Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans are in Super Bowl 54. Let's just advance straight by. Don't need to use any more of my scouting points. I kind of already scouted all the players out of LSU. The Texans win 28-7. All right, well, I'll see you guys in the draft. Let me just bring back all the players out of LSU, and it'll be like a 1 second cut for you guys, but it might take me some time to get all these guys back on the team. Actually, before I hop into the draft, let's see if anybody went up in development trait. I don't really know if anyone played well enough to go up, but we're going to see what happened. Also, we need a new left tackle because Andrew Whitworth retired. I do think we have another right tackle on the team, but he's a 59 overall. Okay, well, we'll figure something out for that. This offensive line isn't going to be the best. Nobody went up in development there on offense. Defensively, I don't think anyone went up either. I thought maybe Devin White could have been an X factor because he won Rookie of the Year. It's all right, though. Now, I will go to the draft. Okay, so we have the first overall pick in the draft. We also have the second. Of course, we're going to go with Joe Burrow, first overall. Why not, right? He's the first ranked player here on the draft board. Welcome to the team. 76 overall, hidden development trait for him. Technically, he's ranked 8th in this class. I don't know. 93 throw power, 82 deep, 85 medium, and 89 short accuracy. Can move as well, 77 speed. We might as well just take Grant Delpit here at number 2. He's the next ranked dude out of LSU, so welcome to the team. 77 overall for him, hidden development trait, ranked number 5, took him at number 2. 88 speed, 81 zone coverage, 88 acceleration, 80 pursuit. I really don't know where he's going to play, but I feel like he should play somewhere. So we'll figure something out. We have 2 more players projected to go in the first round here out of LSU. Patrick Queen, it says he didn't go to a college. This just kind of happens whenever you go through and edit players in a draft. Like, I didn't even edit anybody right now, but just in general, like the person who made the draft class, of course, had to edit somebody. So that just kind of happens sometimes. I don't know why it does. But Patrick Queen, of course, went to LSU. He's on the team. He's a 73 overall. Another player that probably should play just because of his potential and whatnot, but I don't know if there's much room on this team for him to play. We have really good linebackers. Same thing with Grant Delpit. Like, we have really good safeties. So there really isn't anywhere for him to play. We'll figure it out, though. But Christian Fulton is definitely a player I could see playing. He's going to be a 73 overall with hidden development trait. I think he can be our third cornerback. Christian Fulton is really good. 91 speed, 93 acceleration. Looks like a beast for us. Of course, I just have a ton of draft picks. I kind of did this one smartly this time by just trading away everybody I possibly could in order to get draft picks. So Justin Jefferson will be on the team as well. Another player who's good and could start, but I think the wide receivers on this team are already good enough. But they're just going to be depth. Mainly this draft was pretty much here just to take Joe Burrow. He's going to be the most important one out of all of these guys. I mean, Christian Fulton will get a lot of playtime too, but, you know, Joe Burrow is going to be the #1 quarterback on this team. I might as well just take these next 2 guys as well. I kind of went through the entire draft until the undrafted guys and just started everybody I could who I saw out of LSU. Assuming all of the colleges are correct all the way down there. There's only 2 more guys. There could be something wrong with this. I don't know. But we're going to take this guy. He's going to be a 64 overall right tackle. And the sad thing about that is that I think he is going to play because L. Collins is going to play left tackle. So that's going to be very interesting for us. 64 overall isn't too bad for when he was supposed to go. But of course, both of these picks are horrendous for the first round. I'm not picking for value. I'm just trying to get these guys. 63 overall for that guy who's not really going to play too much. I traded away the second and the third round draft picks just to get some more stuff for this next season. And then I simulated the rest. So these guys down here were just taken by the computer. They're not going to get any playing time or anything like that. But let's see who went for the rest of the NFL. Why not, right? Andrew Thomas was the first player that we did not take. Isaiah Simmons going number 4. When did Chase Young go? How does he always fall in this draft, man? Like, edge is an important position. I guess the Bengals don't necessarily need edge all that badly in Madden here. Same thing with the Broncos. So, I mean, I guess that makes some sense. But Jeff Okudah ends up going to the Giants. Jedrick Wills to the Redskins. AJ Epineza to the Rams. Then at number 10, of course, we had a pick, so I'll go one more. Josh Jones goes to the Chiefs. All right, so finally we have a good quarterback here on offense. 76 overall there for Joe Burrow. Sadly, though, we don't have Andrew Whitworth, so L. Collins will play left tackle, which isn't a big deal, but Charles is starting at right tackle, and that's kind of a big deal because he's a 64 overall. I'm hoping that this, auto-generated draft class has some good, offensive line players out of LSU. That would be really clutch, but we'll see what happens, of course. The rest of the offense, then, is pretty much the same. Defensively, we added a couple backups, I guess, and then Christian Fulton will be, playing quite a bit, but Patrick Queen, very good backup middle linebacker. Grant Delpit, fantastic backup strong safety. This defense is still very good. Hopefully they can play better than they did a year ago. I'll see you guys then at the end of the year. This team did not end up making the playoffs again. Rather unfortunate. What was the record? 5-11. Doesn't seem like Joe Burrow made that much of a difference. He didn't really have the best rookie season. It's not awful, I guess, but 3,678 yards, 29 touchdowns isn't that good, considering he actually has a pretty good group of weapons. To be fair to him, though, he doesn't have a good offensive line, so maybe that's why. Leonard Fournette still rushed for over 4 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns for him. Okay, not too bad there. We do have a 1,000-yard receiver. Jarvis Landry had a really good season, 9 touchdowns for him. Odell, 5 touchdowns. Foster Moreau getting 6, not all that bad. This offensive line is tragically bad. I'm really hoping there are some good prospects this year. We have 127 tackles for Devin White, 11 tackles for loss for Brockers and Godshaw, and then we have 13 sacks for Danielle Hunter. That's a really good season. 4 picks for Patrick Peterson, 3 for Devin White, 2 for Christian Fulton and Jamal Adams, and then 1 from Quan Alexander and Deion Jones. No touchdown safeties or blocked kicks once again. This year, 29th on offense, very similar to last year. 28th on defense, same thing there. This is like an identical season to the one we just had. This time, though, you know, Mitchell Trubisky wins MVP. Him and Lamar Jackson, very, very similar kind of players. Lamar Jackson is at number 4, though, so he's still close. Nobody from the Vikings, of course, though. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Mitchell Trubisky. Why is he so broken in this game? I think it's just the Bears. Whoever the Bears have at quarterback just goes off every season. Khalil Mack, Defensive Player of the Year. Now, that makes sense. I don't think that's just a Bears thing. Devin White at number 4, though. Offensive Rookie of the Year actually ends up going to Joe Burrow. That's really big for us. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to AJ Epineza, Christian Fulton at number 3. Nobody else there for us. Okay, well, let's see who's in the Super Bowl again. Texans make it to the Super Bowl here once again, this time they're going up against the Falcons. And we advance the week, and then we'll check out who went up in development and all that good stuff. We'll also reveal the developments of all those hidden guys we ended up drafting. But the Texans are going to win 35-10. I actually don't remember who won last year, so that could be back-to-back for them. But Joe Burrow does have superstar development, if you guys did not know, if you don't use the same draft class as me. Part of me feels like he should have X Factor, because there are a few players in this draft class that do have X Factor. I think Joe Burrow might be good enough for that, but all speculation, really. Jarvis Landry ended up going up in development. I didn't even really point that out, because I was too focused on Joseph Burrow. And then on the defensive side, nobody is up in development, I don't think, right? But Christian Fulton does have star. He's up to a 77. He's actually a really solid player for us, too. I'm glad we were able to get him. Grant Delpit also has superstar development. Patrick Queen has star down there. Okay, so we have really good depth on this team, of course. But hopefully, there are some good players at the positions we need. Like, hopefully we can find, like, an edge rusher and some offensive linemen. That's really all I'm looking for, and I think this team can make the playoffs pretty easily. Okay, so I made it all the way down to the undrafted players, and I found 2 guys who went to LSU. We have a running back and a quarterback, so we have 2 positions we really don't need. But this guy actually looks really, really good, so I'll make sure to get him. And then we have a backup quarterback, I guess. I actually started to go through the undrafted, offensive linemen because we're very desperate, and I found a center who was going to be like a 54 overall or something. All right, we're going to hop into the NFL draft now. I have like 3 players I have to worry about. I'll probably trade up, even though the Cowboys should not take a running back at number 1 overall. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can even trade up at all. I actually have a bunch of first-round draft picks. I don't mind giving away 2. How did the Cowboys end up with the number 1 overall pick as well? That's strange. That's not even close. Okay, so we're going to have to throw in a player for this. But who do I throw in? I'm not sure. That went through by just throwing in Riley Reef? Alright, whatever. I don't really care. We're gonna take this running back number 1 overall. He actually looks absurdly talented, but he's not even gonna play. It's kind of a waste of a draft pick, but there's no one here who I really could take with this pick that would be worth it. He's a 78 with normal. He is ranked number 2 in this draft. This guy is incredibly talented. Sadly, though, he has normal development. He'd be such a fun player to kind of use and work on as a project. And then at number 4 overall, we're going to take this backup quarterback. I'm going to try to guess his overall. All right, so he's projected to go mid-second round. I'm thinking he's going to be a 68 overall with hidden. He's a 68 overall. I was right, but he has normal. Good guess, but no hidden development. It doesn't matter anyway. Even if he had hidden, even if he was an X Factor, Joe Burrow is still starting. Now I'm just going to go to the end of the draft because we're not doing the next draft. So there's no point to trading down. I forgot to take that center, but he was on my draft board, so the computer should have taken him for me. So sadly, the offensive line is going to be exactly the same as it was last year. We get a 70 overall in the second round. That's not a bad draft pick. Okay. A couple guys in the 60s. We got some beasts. Good job, computer. All right, but let's check out this draft class here. It's always interesting to see. The best player was a 79 overall defensive tackle, Rashad Khan. Let's check out his development trade. If he's an X Factor, he's a beast. It's just star. He's still a beast, but not nearly as beastly as he could have been. There's a left guard who's a 77, a tight end a 76, a 76 overall left tackle, another good right guard. Why couldn't any of those guys gone to LSU? They all would have helped us out so much. So I think that whole data reorder thing is just going to be here permanently for the rest of this video. So that's fun. This has been quite the interesting video. Sadly, though, you really couldn't improve the team all that much. Like, it's still not a bad roster, but I don't think they're going to play well again. At least if the last 2 seasons are anything to look at, because they didn't play well at all so far. So maybe this one will be different. I can have some kind of optimism. I'm not sure. But the defense is still super talented. A couple of these players did regress. This guy is hidden development trait. Harmon Xavier. All right, where did he go to school? USF. Just praying that maybe I missed or something. So sadly, he's going to have to be the 5th defensive tackle. It's alright though. Not every one of these teams is going to be like a superstar god squad. Like, of course, this team still has so many tremendous players on it, but not every team is going to be like an Alabama or an Ohio State that made the playoffs almost every season. But maybe we can get to one of those teams soon. I just thought LSU would be interesting to do since, of course, we have Joe Burrow, but sadly I couldn't really build that great of a team around him. Let's start advancing now. I'll let you know if this team miraculously makes the playoffs. Did the team finally make the playoffs? They actually did, and they got a first round bye. What happened this year? We went 10-5-1. Okay, 10-6 for the Packers, 8-8 for the Bears, 6-10 for the Lions. All right, so all you LSU fans out there, this video wasn't all that bad then. Joe Burrow actually had a tremendous season. About 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's a really good season to have. That whole data reorder thing is so annoying to me. Leonard Fournette wasn't really all that good. 830 yards, 3.4 yards per carry, but had a lot of touchdowns. I guess I'll take that. Birmingham getting 3 touchdowns down there. That's cool. DJ Chark did pretty well. 60 catches, 902 yards, 8 touchdowns. But Foster Moreau, 10 touchdowns, 720 yards. That's a really solid year for him. The offensive line improving a little bit. Okay, that's what I like to see. 117 tackles there for Devin White, 1 fewer for Dante Jackson. We have 14 tackles for loss for Danielle Hunter, 10 for Devon Godshaw. Danielle Hunter ties with Michael Brackers for the team lead in sacks with 8.5. 5 picks for Patrick Peterson. He can still play 10 years after being drafted. 4 for Tyrann Mathieu, 3 for Jamal Adams, 2 for Dante Jackson and Christian Fulton, 1 for Deion Jones and Devin White. We finally got a touchdown. We have 2 for Tyrann Mathieu, but no safeties, no blocked kicks or anything like that. 23rd on offense, so that's still around the same area. I imagine the defense stepped up. No, they did not. They were 26th. So I don't know what happened. But Josh Allen this time wins MVP. Jacoby Brissett on the Jaguars. It always looks so weird just to see where he ends up. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Ezekiel Elliott, but we do have Joe Burrow at number 4. Defensive Player of the Year, again, goes to Khalil Mack. We have Devin White, though, at number 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year actually goes to Abdul Birmingham. How did he win that? He barely got any playtime, but alright. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Rashad Khan, that defensive tackle who was very good, the best player in the class. Best quarterback is Matt Ryan, but Joe Burrow at number 4. Best running back is Ezekiel Elliott. No running back from our team on this list, obviously. Best wide receiver, Christian Kirk. But DJ Chark in there at number 7. I'll take that. Best offensive lineman, Zach Martin. Nobody from the Vikings. Best defensive lineman, DeMarcus Lawrence. Danielle Hunter, though, sneaks in there at number 10. Best linebacker, Khalil Mack. Devin White at number 8 there. Best defensive back is Patrick Peterson. Tyrann Mathieu is there too, so is Jamal Adams. This secondary is disgusting. And then best kicker, doesn't really matter. There's no kicker I could find out of LSU, so we have Ryan Suckup on the team. He's there at number 3. Alright, well, let's advance by this week and see who we have to take on. Alright, we spent the coach experience. That whole data reorder thing is still pissing me off every time I see it. We have to take on the Green Bay Packers. Let's go ahead and simulate this week after we see their overall. They're an 85, but we are a little bit better. They do have one more X factor than us, though, at least. So, by that logic, they're probably going to win. Let's go to the conference championship. Are we in the game? We are not, sadly. Okay, let's go to the Super Bowl. See who wins. I'll check out development trade upgrades. And then I will conclude this one. So, it's between the Buccaneers and the Ravens. Super Bowl 56. I didn't really expect to see the Buccaneers here. Maybe with Tom Brady. Who knows? He's not on their team in this roster, of course. But the Ravens win that Super Bowl 31-28. I could totally see them winning a Super Bowl in the next couple of seasons. Let's check out development trade upgrades, though. Joe Burrow did not go up in development. I actually really thought he was going to. Birmingham did not as well, but he is going to be an 81 overall after those experience points are spent there. Foster Moreau, did he go up? He did not. He actually had a really good season, too. Surprising. Dante Jackson over here is up to superstar. That's actually really cool. This guy ended up only having star, but he's a 74 overall. He was the 5th defensive tackle, and he still went up 5 overall points. That is insane. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.